Got a question from YouTube at ESPN Houston. Michael A20 asks, will it come as a surprise if the Astros move on from Joe Espada? Do they need to make the playoffs in order for him to keep his job? We also have on the Twitch from a couple of different watchers, twitch.tv/ESPN975. Pinche says Espada is entering dangerous territory, falling behind by double digits. Grinding on coffee and whiskey says Espada is one and done. Shrimpo Dana says Espada shouldn't make it past the All-Star break. I am again going to say that this is not Espada's fault, but it does feel very likely that he is the next fall guy made. By the All-Star break would be really something, though. I don't know if it's going to happen that quickly.
No, it just doesn't really happen that way. You have a lot. They're one and done is becoming more of a norm in sports. We saw the latest one just happen with Monty Williams, got a $95 million contract, and the Pistons canned him after a year. You saw, the Broncos, the Texans, like multiple teams have fired coaches after 1 year.
It's the American dream if you're a coach to get fired after 1 year. Good for Monty Williams. I mean, his wife had cancer and he was going to sit out that season, and they paid him how much was it? 8 years. Was it 80? Was it $100 million?
I know he's getting $65 million according to Woj to go away.
And there's, I think, 6 years left on his contract?
Something like that.
I don't know what the NBA rules are if he has to apply for jobs to keep on getting those checks, but I mean, good for him.
He came in for 1 year, lost 68 games, got $65 million on the way out.
Well, I'm really happy for Monty Williams.
I do want that life.
I would love it. We all would. It's the American dream.
Shout out to Jimbo Fisher.
To get paid and absolutely do nothing. You're right. Shout out to Jimbo Fisher.
Jimbo did have to do a lot of work. Like, Monty only had to work for a year.
That's true. And he was recruiting. There's NIL. Jimbo worked for that money. But Espada, I mean, he's going to be made the fall guy. Just going to what was asked. All-Star break, man, that's not going to wake this team up. If they do it, I suppose it's not completely impossible, but I think it's highly unlikely that he is gone by then.
Yeah, I would just be stunned if it happens this offseason.
This regular season.
I mean, this regular season. It's most likely going to happen the offseason.
Offseason, I would think so, yes.
But the most interesting part, like I always go back to these stories that we got from Bob Nightingale and others that, like this one here is from November 5th of last year. Astros GM Dana Brown pushing for Joe Espada to be promoted to manager of the team. Crane wanted a bigger name or someone with more name recognition out there. So if Joe Espada is the fall guy, I do kind of wonder still if there's backlash to Dana Brown as well. Of Jim Crane goes, well, I told you to go, get a big name, and then you got me Joe, and look what's happened to this team. So My gut tells me it's just Espada that gets fired at the end of the season, and that they go get like Terry Francona, if he's really going to come out of retirement after just one off season or one full season. But I don't think Joe Espada will be the manager of the Astros in 2025. Someone's going to have to take the blame, and they're not going to blame Bagwell, and he's really not at fault anymore. Brave's gone. Sorry, I said his name. He who shall not be named.
Put $1 in the jar.
Is no longer here. Montero, terrible, whatever. Brantley was last year. They're not going to blame Bagwell. He's part of the inner committee. They're going to blame Espada. And I don't think he'll be the manager of the Astros in 2025 unless they pull off a miracle.
Knowing Jim Crane, he'll probably try to get a big name. It would be fun to get Terry Francona, as someone who loved Terry Francona when he was in Boston. That feels like the next move. Yeah. Is that actually going to do anything to make the Astros better on the field? Probably not, and it will be very interesting to see what they do by the trade deadline. So we're talking about leadership here. Obviously, Joe Espada as a leader, it's not his fault the Astros are playing poorly, in my opinion, but he's certainly not helping in any way, shape, or form, even with his ejection yesterday. CJ Stroud, though, he's helping the kids. It's time for a Deep Steel Blue pill, baby. Hit me!
Little blue pills can take 30 minutes to get you ready for excitement.
So that's why we're giving you a big, deep, steel blue pill.
You take the blue pill. Believe whatever you want to.
Get it up for the Texans and take this deep, steel blue pill.
And by the way, she'll like it too.
Texans Swarm! CJ Stroud, man of the people, had a football camp for the kids. Terrell Owens was there for some reason. He even talked with Cal McNair a little bit. Texans? CJ Stroud might be the most important human being in the city of Houston and continues to earn all of the flowers thrown his way, not just because of his football ability, but because of the lessons he's teaching the future of our country. Did you see what CJ Stroud told the kids to say at that football camp? Here it is.
How y'all doing? All the kids, on the count of three, I want y'all to say thank you to y'all parents. On the count of three, say thank you. 1, 2, 3.
Valuable life lessons. Because the parents of those kids are the reason that those kids got to go to the CJ Stroud football camp.
That's also the reason why they're alive.
That's true, too.
Speaking of, I'm a bad son.
Son?
Happy birthday, Dad. It was yesterday. I missed it. And I know he was listening to the show yesterday because we were talking about the bald hair segment.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I missed that one.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
If it makes you feel any
Sorry,
better,
Pops.
I always used to be confused whether or not my dad was born on June 9th or June 10th. And every year I would get it wrong.
Okay, here's the thing. Without Facebook, I don't know where I'd be at with some of these things.
Just say June 9th every time. Just act like it's June 9th. And then you're early.
Yeah.
If anything, you're early.
It is on June 9th. So this year,
June 8th.
nailed it. But my dad was also annoyed that I called him at 6 p.m. on Sunday, June 9th.
Why? Was it too late in the day?
It was too late in the day, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, was he eating dinner, or he was just upset with the timing, or just took...
He was on his way to dinner, and I think he thought that I had forgotten about his birthday. I actually didn't. I just was dealing with a lot of things that Sunday.
You're saying get there in time.
No, I just didn't do it
early enough for him.
Yeah. So I made it up for him.
That sounds selfish.
Kiss my ass. For Father's Day, I got him 2 bottles of Belvedere vodka. That's his favorite vodka.
I mean, you sound like a great son.
I do sound like a great son?
Yeah, you do.
I don't.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm the best son there is.
Those are great gifts.
The
Best
child
son he has.
arrived
Yeah.
just the other day. Came to the world in a usual way. Yeah. So it happens.
It
Getting
does, yeah.
parents' birthdays.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is tough because they're both, but more so Joe's dad, really close to Father's Day.
A lot of times my dad's birthday is on Father's Day.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm assuming this year, I'm not making excuses for you. That's Dana Brown's job.
No,
but
I said happy birthday to him in person, but I told him I would say it on
You let down your guard.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. Yep.
Hell yeah.
You
CJ
think the
Stroud.
job's finished. And
CJ Stroud, leader of the future. He is the most important person in this city right now.
Most important athlete. Jose
Because-
Altuve ain't turning this thing around.
Here's the thing.
Altuve's not even getting calls from umpires. They're persecuting him, despite his 5'6" frame. They're calling balls that are clearly outside of the zone strikes. Get
Yeah.
out of here.
Because if we're wrong about CJ and they suck this year, oh boy, it's gonna be a long year, boys. We need the Texans to be good.
How dare you open that possibility up? How dare you?
I'm just telling you what the people are thinking.
No, that's just the Twitch. Twitch just hates the Texans for literally no reason.
Oh, that's because we're not Texans fans.
I don't understand how people can be so down on the team after what they did last year. I really don't.
Oh, I don't either.
Certainly there were some moments where, yeah, they got a little lucky for sure, and they had an easy schedule. But if you're hating on them now, you're hating on them for the sake of hating on them. And hey, I've done that before myself. I rooted against Rory McIlroy on Sunday.
That one worked out well for you.
Because he's Northern Irish. I had no legitimate reason. He's from Northern Ireland, the Protestant part of our island.
CJ Stroud, leader of men.
Leader of men. He's teaching
Thank you,
kids
CJ.
valuable lessons.
CJ Stroud does a 23andMe, or is it 23andMe? Is that the
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, he does a 23andMe, and he finds out that he's like 5% Northern Ireland.
Oh no, that's a good question. What would
Oh,
you do?
then what?
There's no way he would. I mean, do you see what's coming out of Northern Ireland? Rory McIlroy's their best athlete. Rory McIlroy.
I don't know another thing that's coming out of Northern Ireland.
Persecution of Catholics, that's for sure. Thou shalt honor your father and mother. CJ Stroud teaching the kids the 4th commandment. There you go.